Every afternoon, just as the sun began its slow descent behind the towering skyscrapers of downtown Chicago, 7-year-old Maya tightened the straps of her small backpack and skipped along the cracked sidewalks. In it was her modest lunch, a peanut butter sandwich, an apple, and a small juice box. It wasn't much, but to Maya, it was enough, especially since she never ate all of it herself. Her destination was always the same, the corner of 5th and Pine, where a man sat huddled against a brick wall. He was an older man, perhaps in his 50s, with a graying beard and clothes layered from years of hardship. Maya had noticed him weeks ago. At first, she had only seen his tired eyes staring after the passing crowd, a quiet sadness lingering in the corners of his gaze. "Hi, Mr. Thomas," she called brightly, holding out her wax paper-wrapped sandwich. He looked up, startled at first, then a smile cracked through the weariness etched on his face. "Hello there, Maya," he replied, his voice raspy from years of speaking little to anyone. Every day, Maya would share part of her lunch. Some days it was a sandwich, sometimes just an apple, but she never hesitated. She would sit beside him on the cold concrete, sharing stories about school or a book she had just read, her legs swinging freely as she talked. People walking past would glance at the unlikely pair, a little girl in bright sneakers, chatting with a man no one else seemed to notice, and whisper to one another. Some looked amused, others skeptical. But Maya didn't care. Her mother's words echoed in her mind. "Kindness is a habit worth keeping, Maya. It grows quietly, but it changes the world." And Maya believed them. Each act of sharing was like a tiny seed she planted, hoping it would grow into something meaningful. On rainy days, she would offer her jacket or a spare umbrella. On cold winter mornings, she tucked an extra pair of gloves from her school's lost and found into his worn coat pocket. Every gesture, she thought, no matter how small, could make someone's day brighter. One particular morning, the air sharp with December frost, Maya hurried to their usual spot, her breath forming small clouds in the cold. But when she reached the corner, her heart sank. Mr. Thomas wasn't there. In his place was a small crowd of people, murmuring in surprise, and a police officer standing nearby. Her small legs carried her faster, urgency twisting in her chest. "Mr. Thomas," she called, her voice trembling. A few people parted to let her through, and she saw him kneeling, holding a folded envelope. The officer smiled kindly at him. "Congratulations, sir," he said. "You've been awarded housing and a job opportunity. Your volunteer work at shelters has been recognized by the community program." Maya blinked, unsure she fully understood. Mr. Thomas looked down at her, eyes glistening with tears. You always believed in me," he whispered hoarsely. Maya's small hands went to her sides, and she felt a warmth rise in her chest. She hadn't realized it, but her simple, daily habit of sharing had sparked something much bigger than herself, a chain of events that would change a man's life forever. The late afternoon sun blazed across the streets of downtown Chicago, reflecting off towering glass buildings and sending golden streaks onto the cracked sidewalks. 7-year-old Maya tightened the straps of her backpack and ran, her little sneakers slapping the pavement with unstoppable energy. In her bag, a simple lunch waited, a peanut butter sandwich, an apple, and a small juice box. But Maya's eyes sparkled with a secret. She wasn't going to eat it all herself. She rounded the corner of 5th and Pine, and there he was. The man she'd noticed weeks ago, sitting quietly against a brick wall, a gray beard framing a face worn with hardship. His coat was threadbare, his shoes caked in dirt, but his eyes, tired as they were, had a quiet dignity. "Hi, Mr. Thomas." Maya's voice rang out like a bell in the chilly air. She reached into her bag and pulled out the sandwich, holding it out with both hands. The man blinked, surprised. "Maya, hello," he rasped. A faint smile tugged at the corner of his lips. Every day, Maya did the same. Rain or shine, she brought a small piece of her own lunch, sharing it with him. Sometimes they talked about school, sometimes about her dreams of becoming a doctor. But often, they just sat in companionable silence, two souls connecting in a world that usually ignored him. Passers-by noticed the little girl and the man, some with admiration, some with disbelief, but Maya never cared. Her mother had said it once, and Maya remembered every word. Kindness is a habit, Maya. It grows quietly, but it can change the world. On this December afternoon, the wind cut sharp against her cheeks, and she hurried to her corner, her heart beating faster than usual. But when she arrived, the bench was empty. Panic squeezed her chest. A small crowd had gathered. A police officer stood near Mr. Thomas, who was kneeling, holding a crisp envelope. Maya's breath caught. She pushed through, her tiny arms trembling. Mr. Thomas, she shouted. The officer looked down kindly. Congratulations, sir. A local community program has recognized your volunteer work and dedication. Housing and a job opportunity have been arranged for you. Maya's eyes widened. Mr. Thomas's gaze fell on her, shimmering with tears. You always believed in me, he whispered, voice breaking. Maya felt a surge of warmth rush through her. She had just shared a sandwich every day. That's all. Yet, somehow, her tiny habit had sparked a life-changing miracle. Something inside her bloomed with excitement. This was proof that even the smallest acts of kindness could ripple across the world in ways nobody could predict. And in that golden light, on that cold winter afternoon, Maya understood the incredible power of a habit rooted in love and generosity.